Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand spanking new episode of A Bad Mom's Christmas. This time, we're going to get you the full episode. I promise you that. And now I really have to download this episode. But, yeah, we are live on twitch.tv/prime_target, and you can tune in live on Mondays to watch the full recording of this and join in on the chat, join in on the review of the movie. So this week we watched A Bad Mom's Christmas, and yeah, we watched it. I am assuming, just based off of what people talked about before, like in the chat, I did clear this chat, and that people did like it. It had its moments, but overall I was not thoroughly impressed. I tried to look at it in a different perspective of things, but here we are. So yeah, the movie is based around moms that are now, again, I think this is a sequel to A Bad Mom something, right? Bad Moms. It's a sequel to Bad Moms. And yeah, and then we got A Bad Mom's Christmas. This is the sequel to that. So it's this one revolves around, I guess, the moms now are having their moms come into town and kind of shake up their holiday season. I've seen this type of movie before. Daddy's Home did the exact same thing. There was with Mark Wahlberg and wait, no, is it Mark Wahlberg? Is that what it's called? Isn't it called Daddy's Home? Let's hold on. Daddy's Home. I saw it. Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg. Okay, this is just another movie that both of them are in. Which is like dad versus stepdad. And then they did another one, which is like the sequel to this, and it's like their dads come into town. This was 2015. I want to know when there's Daddy's Home 2, right? Daddy's Home 2, which is 2017, which is the exact same year that Bad Mom's Christmas came out, which is funny. Okay. Interesting. So, yeah, I mean, so the concept I've seen before, and I didn't even see Daddy's Home 2. I just know that that's what those movies are about. But, like, this, I'll just go with this. There are four things we're looking at in every single movie throughout this season. How many times the characters say this holiday, which in this movie happens to be Christmas. How many times does Christmas be said in this? How long is this movie? Because I am so curious about that. Runtime. It's got to be somewhere. Runtime is an hour and 44 minutes. So it almost gets to 2 hours. Alana, how's it going? Hope you're having a good one. Christmas is said 106 times in less than 2 hours. 106 times. And at points, they rapid fire Christmas. It's Christmas Day. I just want to fix Christmas. Christmas is how I'm going to do Christmas. Christmas is where I want to go. 106 times. I don't even know if normal holiday movies do that. Like, Home Alone, just so you're Home Alone said it 14 times. And that movie took place over a longer period of time. This movie fast forwards like 5 days before Christmas. So, like, I don't know. I'm doing okay. We just started talking about Bad Mom's Christmas. And now I don't want to, like, shit on the movie either. Because, like, here's the other thing. The movie, I think, does have an audience. I think is there. It is not me. Because, like, I tried to watch this movie. And just so you're aware, when you have to count how many times somebody says Christmas, you really have to focus on the writing. The writing is not good. It is it is so not good. Now are there performances that are good? Oh yeah. I do think that, like, first off, Mila Kunis, not Melina. Mila Kunis, sorry. Mila Kunis does a great job, and I think carries this movie so heavily on her back. I do think Kristen Bell, honestly, her character, it's almost like it doesn't even need to be there. There isn't really anything that Kristen Bell's character does give to it. I'm also reviewing this as not seeing Bad Moms. I'm seeing only this movie. So I don't know if any of these other characters have, like, showed up in the other ones. I know Mila Kunis is in the first one, and I know that Kristen Bell is also in there, and Catherine Hahn, I think it's how you say her last name. Catherine Hahn is also in that movie. So these three women are coming back from the first movie to this movie. I do know that. Other than that, I have no idea what anything else about the movie, so I'm going into this completely just watching this movie. But the thing is like, the cast is not bad. Like, Susan Sarandon's in this movie, but, like, and she does okay for, like, being, like, the deadbeat mom, and, like, they all have. Okay, let me give the flowers where the flowers are due, of where the movie doesn't necessarily get, like, a 0 from me. There are aspects to the movie that are enjoyable. I think it does have a beginning and it does have an end. And for that to be, like, a thing to even say, some movies don't even have that. So I got to give the credit to where it does have a coherent story from where to where and how we got here. The opening scene being hey, this is what's going to happen later, and then we eventually get to that point in the timeline. That was told, okay. It was like, yeah, all right, what happened? Because Mila Kunis is literally, Amy is the character, is sitting there. By the way, none of these characters have last names except for the male stripper that is in this movie, and that is it. Everyone has singular like names, which is really just something else. But yeah, so Amy, which is Mila Kunis' character, I do think her character and her storyline with her mom is very good. And that is the thing I got to give too, is that this is a movie trying to tell 3 different perspectives of 3 different women, of 3 different versions of a mom, of a middle-aged to younger aged mom. Like, that's kind of where you're trying to go with this. And, like, you have Amy, who has the mom that is, like, always pushing her to be better. She can be better. I'm going to be the ultimate grandma. I am going to bring Christmas to this family because you're a mom that doesn't seem to be, like, good at doing what you're doing. Kristen Bell, her character, who plays Kiki, her character is the overprotective, the overly attached mom that is like, whoa, breathe, like, back up a step and let me breathe. It's that kind of mom that just wants to shower, like, love to her, as where Amy's mom, Mila Kunis' character, is more of, like, trying to one up her. And then you have Catherine Hahn's character, which is Carla, and her mom is the deadbeat mom that was never around, that let her kind of do whatever she wanted to do, and just would, like, disappear with years of separation to eventually come back. And I gotta say, to tell a story that is based around, essentially telling 3 different stories and perspectives, I do think that that is good. I think it's a good way. Like, I think they do a good job doing that. It's just, like, it starts to get, with storylines that are too many, and I said this with Star Wars, you start to get A storyline, a B storyline, and a C storyline. C storylines you give 2 shits about. You don't care. You do not care about a C storyline. It is like, why is this even happening? And it happened in Star Wars when in episode 8. That's the reason why episode 8 is such a clusterfuck. Is like, you have no idea why you're being told this story. when in actuality, eventually it doesn't matter. Like, that's why C storylines die and they don't make sense to have. That's, to me, almost, I mean, I don't know. I would say Kristen Bell's character really is the C storyline. I get it, but then there were times where they were just kind of talking about it too much. Like, I get the whole dynamic. They go to this, like, therapy thing. None of the things that Wanda Sykes says is really funny because it, like, backfires to Kristen Bell. And it's just like this, I don't know what that was even for. Like, and then the joke kind of went too long. And that's another thing. Jokes in this movie go way too long. They, like, try to drive in the fact of, like, hey, this is funny, right? And you're like, it's not really that funny. But it's funny, right? No, not really. But we're going to keep talking about it like it's that funny. And you're like, I guess it's okay. Like, and there were times where I could tell a joke was being told. And I was like, that was so terrible. But I can't. It's almost like the Ghostbusters effect. Because, like, and that's the thing, is like, people, I was thinking about this, is like, I'm sure people will easily try to assume, like, I'm just shitting on this because it's a raunchy comedy on like, women in a raunchy comedy. And the thing is like, women in a raunchy comedy can work. Like, for me, my biggest thing is Bridesmaids. Bridesmaids is the best raunchy women's comedy that is beat for beat fun and enjoyable to watch. Like, there are jokes. There's a story that tells it consistently. It's funny women telling funny jokes that continue to go and more and more and more and develop, and then press a story where you have a character that you actually care about, which is Kristen Wiig's character, and you have this thing of like, oh, I like this person. And it's hard to do that with this movie too, because it's like, okay, it is a movie that I have to review by itself. I can't compare it to another movie. I have to dissect what this movie presented itself as. And to me, it fell flat in a lot of ways. Now, I am a dude watching a presumably women's comedy movie, and I can understand that I might be just missing things that I never can experience. For example, the overall topic to the movie is a mom and daughter relationship. That is something I can't ever, like, grasp as a guy. I can grasp if a mom and son relationship or a father-son relationship, but a mom and daughter relationship is definitely something I obviously can't obtain, which is fine. And I can visually see a relationship either sprouting or falling apart because of how if storytelling is told relatively well. And to me, I feel like Mila Kunis' character and who is it? Kristen Bransky, who played Ruth. So Amy and Ruth. The Amy and Ruth relationship, to me, was definitely the A-tier storyline. It is the main one that is getting us from here, that is getting us to here. We start with it. It's Mila Kunis is sitting there clearly as the main. She's sitting there talking about how, hey, this is going to be a big situation. You know, how did it end up here on Christmas Day, kind of thing. So, to me, like, that is definitely the A tier. Catherine Hahn's character with Susan Sarandon being mother-daughter with Carla and Isis, that one's definitely the B tier. It has more of an emotional, I think, connection to that I felt more enjoyable because of the fact of it's a mom dealing with it's a daughter dealing with a mom that she just has not seen in years and has always wanted something from. We've seen that as a story, whereas like Amy and Ruth's storyline is the pressuring mom. The Kiki and Sandy one is just too much. It gets weird, and uncomfortable, and it's like there's not really like an ending to it. It's just like she still loves her as much as she did before. It's just she's just not going to live next door. Like it, and like the I don't know. So with all of it, it just kind of is this like it's tolerable, but I will tell you I got bored like several times in the movie where I just was like, I don't care. Get past this. This joke's not funny. This isn't funny. But as for the Twitch people that are back, I was kind of bringing into, some people may think that like, oh, I'm just saying this because it's like, oh, it's the women are trying to tell jokes, and it's not that. I just think it's not a good movie. Like Bridesmaids to me is still one of the funniest movies, and if not, is the funniest movie that women are in. But I have to come back to I can't compare that movie to this. I have to dissect what this movie does, and there's just too many times that they could have gone. I don't know, because Catherine Hahn is a funny person, and she is definitely supposedly the comic relief of the movie because there's a lot of she's the one delivering a lot of the lines of jokes. But you can kind of see in the beginning of the movie, the three women are kind of together. She's driving this whole like kind of comic style. She eventually makes a gingerbread thing that's a shape of a dick. So like it's a thing that she is the comic relief. But then they kind of split them apart after a while, and then like don't really have them interact with each other except for like little brief moments. But they're not having conversations anymore. And their whole thing about like taking Christmas back is whatever. But it kind of like that whole thing is just to drive Mila Kunis's story of Amy and Ruth, of like her fighting back against her mom, giving a reason to do that. There was a scene where a mom watched Kristen Bell's character have sex with her husband. That does happen. It's not like graphic. It's not like a whole, but they're about to have sex and then it stops. But it's like jokes like that. I don't know. They just weren't funny. And again, as I was also saying, I'm a guy watching this movie, and I could easily see a loss of translation of whatever. But I also don't. I try to relate it to a situation that I have as well. It's like the situations and the story and the skeleton of this whole entire movie is fine. The meat to this entire movie, like script writing and just the overall, I mean, I guess it is the writing. It's just mainly the writing. I don't like it. I just don't. I think it gets lazy. I don't think there's a lot of plot that really happens until kind of the very beginning. Not a lot in the middle. It's kind of like biding time to get to an hour, and then we have more plot, and it's kind of weird. So I don't know. It's okay, and then it kind of feels rushed at the end. But the scene where they're in the church, where it's Amy and Ruth coming to the like, hey, I just want to let you know you've been a great mom to me and this and that and whatever. That is a pretty emotional scene, and that was great. And it really kind of actually showed Mila Kunis's acting chops of like, dang, why are you in this movie? Like, because if you weren't in this movie, this would not be very good. Kristen Bell has hardly any source or any. I'll go back to it. The meat of her parts of lines, like she kind of just is there, and Catherine Hahn's character, like I said, is comic relief. So she's just there to riff off of other characters. So I don't know. It's not a great movie. But yeah, like I said, going down the list of things that we were looking at in all these movies, for Christmas to be said 106 times, that is a lot. And like I said, there are brief sections where they don't say it, but when they say it like as if I forgot that we were talking about Christmas. Like, I'm here. I heard you guys mention it. You could just say the holiday, or yeah, tomorrow on Thursday. You can even say that. I understand Christmas is coming by. I assume that you are talking about Christmas. You don't need to say it that many times. It got so noticeable. But again, as a normal viewer, maybe that's not. It just, as somebody that was doing that, it was crazy. So, The first sight of snow is 1 minute and 42 seconds is how many as when I counted that in. Hugs. This movie has so many hugs, so huggable. It happens. I counted 20 times. It could have been more, but it is a lot of hugging, and yeah, that's just kind of where it goes. Is there a ham or turkey that is eaten on the table in the film? No, there is not. This is a Christmas movie where they have Christmas dinner and they have Chinese food. It's almost, I mean, Christmas Story, we had at least a duck. Like, we didn't have anything in this. They ate Chinese food. So that's where this kind of all sat. And I don't know. It just wasn't, I did not like it at all, really. But I will say there was good parts to the movie. So I can't give it a 0. I can't give it a 1. I can't give it a 2. But my final review, before we get into the IMDb corner, is I'm not going to say it. Well, no, I already kind of alluded to it. I gave it a 3 out of 10. I gave it a solid 3 out of 10. And for those that want to know, like, what our review scale is, this is our review scale. That is a terrible movie. And I do think it is terrible. I don't think it's good. Mediocre would have been considerate, but don't let me influence you. That is just my review. We're letting the PT Nation score go. So Foxy, give your review. Fresh, give your review. Preacher, give your review. So let's just take a look at some of the trivia. Let's go to the IMDb corner and get some of this kind of stuff. Run right through it. We'll just read 4 of them. Let's read 4. So, Catherine Hahn wrote a personal letter to Susan Sarandon asking her to play her mother in the film. Oh, okay, that's kind of cool. So, Catherine Hahn, she actually asked Susan Sarandon to play her mom, which is kind of cool. Carla, which is Carla. Carla works at Oki Spa. Oki is Hawaiian for the butthole or anus. Oakley is butthole or the anus. So there you go. Can't look at Oakley's anymore. Right. The film was announced on December 23rd, 2016, just 2 months after Bad Moms 2016 finished its theatrical run in the United States. Only 15 months separate the release dates of the original film to its sequel. Cheryl? Is it Charlie Hines is only 15 years older than her on-screen daughter, Kristen Bell. Although it is stated that their characters are only 18 years apart. Okay. Amy's children complain about Ruth, Amy's mom, taking them to the Nutcracker in Russian, saying they're not Russian. Yeah, this is what I also thought. Mila Kunis is originally from Ukraine and speaks fluent Russian. That was the thing. I was like, oh, yeah, they're not Russian, but they know Russian, so they should. But yeah, Mila Kunis is Ukrainian. So okay, let's head over to the goofs. We got 3 here, so let's just with continuity. Here, I'll read 3. I'll read 1 continuity, 1 factual error, and 1 error in geography. All right. Never mind. We're reading 2 continuities. At the beginning of the movie, the 3 red, green, and white stockings on Amy's fireplace are filled. When her parents arrive several scenes later, 3 different red and white and empty stockings are hanging on the mantle. Well, there you go. In the trampoline park, Amy hits her mouth. Ruth is in the... Oh, sorry, mouth. I was like going to say I was reading this and it was so bad of how I was reading it. In the trampoline park, Amy hits her mother, Ruth, in the crotch with a dodgeball. With the scene pans down, there is no dodgeball anywhere in front of Ruth when she falls. They could have ricocheted off. At the 37-minute and 43-second mark, when Amy starts throwing dodgeballs at her mom, her hair is up. In the next shot, her hair is down. Oh. Someone thumbs down that. All right. Celine Dion. Oh, they made reference to Celine Dion. Celine Dion has won 5 Grammy Awards, not 7, as mentioned in the movie. Maybe she can win 2 more. Yeah. So there's that. Next, we got one thing I did like was the quotes from the back and forth between Mila Kunis and Kenny G, where she tells him, get your flute and get out of here, and he goes, "It's not a flute, bitch," was so funny to me. Like, that was the funniest joke of the entire movie, was that one thing. All right, crazy credits. There are 2 crazy credits. There are no opening credits at all. The title doesn't even appear on screen until the end of the movie. And then the next one is the initial end credits roll while the cast dances. That does happen. So, Kelpie G. Yeah, Kelpie G from SpongeBob. So, with all that, budget was $28 million. It grossed $72 million in the U.S. and Canada. Opening weekend, it got almost $17 million. And it grossed worldwide $130 million. Wow! That is a successful movie. Good grief. Good for them. Runtime is 1 hour and 44 minutes. 1 hour and 44 minutes, and they said Christmas 106 times. I just wanted to know, like, what... So... We go 60 plus 44. Okay. That's 104. Oh my God. That's almost saying Christmas once every minute. The movie is only 104 minutes long. And they said it 106 times. And I may have missed times. Wow. That is a lot of time saying Christmas. I have no idea if I've ever seen a movie that says it that many times. But we'll see. We've got plenty. And hey, we got Polar Express coming up here towards the end of the season. So, yeah. With all that, let's get the PT Nation's final score here. So, we got Foxy with a 5.3 plus an 8.5 plus an 8.5 divided by 3. That is a 7.4 out of 10 from the PT Nation. So, there you go. The official Primal Target score is a 3 out of 10. Solid 3. Solid 3 out of 10. And the official PT Nation score is a 7.4 out of 10. So there you go. That's why we got 2 different rating systems. Maybe you agree with the PT Nation score. Maybe you agree with more of my score. I don't know. It doesn't have that bad of reviews on IMDb of how I was looking at it. I think it has like a high 5 or a low 6. I can't remember what it was. So there's that. That is a Bad Mom's Christmas. If you want to watch more, make sure you're definitely subscribed, because the next movie that we are going to be watching is 8 Crazy Nights. Now, according to what I have here, it is available on Paramount Plus and AMC Plus. So if you have those, you can go and watch those. And you can watch it on there. It might be on something else. You might own it yourself. But 8 Crazy Nights, I thought it was good, but not super great. There you go. That's a fair review there, Foxy. 8 Crazy Nights. That's the next one. It's a Hanukkah movie. So maybe we'll have a little bit of Hanukkah going on here. Maybe they won't say Hanukkah 106 times, making it almost 1 time a minute. I don't know. Or it was 106 minutes and it was 104 times. I can't remember. 106. It was 106 times. It's only 104 minute long. I don't know. Anyway, it is a lot of times. So we'll see what happens. 8 Crazy Nights. That's the next one. We'll watch that, and we will come back for Monday, which is December 9th. We are going to be recording the 8 Crazy Nights episode. So if you want to do that, make sure you're subscribed over on YouTube. Make sure you're following us here on Twitch. If you want to tune in, get your vote in over there, and be a part of the live experience, here on twitch.tv/prime_target. For people that want to go and subscribe to us over there on YouTube and watch our past episodes, we have a Star Wars season, we have a found footage season, we have a Alien and Predator season. Go check those out. This is season 4, the holiday season, and it's not over yet. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Good night, everybody.
He kills him, so it's like he's now.
At one point, he tells him what to do.
Yeah. So then maybe he's now in charge because the Emperor knows that Kylo is now changed. So I guess this guy's now in charge of the Empire alongside with Palpatine, which is kind of weird.